Welcome to the E-Estate Revolution webinar. We do this every single Sunday night at 6 p.m. Central Time. My name's Vaughn Morrill. I'm your host. And hey, we got a special program tonight, right? We have a special webinar. We've got a very special guest on here, Anthony DeLoatch. He's a good friend of mine. We've been in the space together for a long time. We're both network marketers. We've both got a history of doing this. And hey, he wanted to come on and talk about his upcoming event. Actually, I wanted to have him on, right? Because he has an event that's upcoming that's going to be the first, I believe, the first live event that is happening in the USA for the E-Estate platform. So, Anthony, welcome to the E-Estate Revolution webinar.
Hey man, I'm glad to be on here, Vaughn. I'm glad you invited me on here. I was super excited about it when I got your invitation. I'm really excited about what you're doing with eEstate and how you're pushing the platform forward and all that you are going in and making happen for this company. It's amazing. And I'm glad to be locking arms with you again in the same company. And I think we're going to do some incredible things.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love the hat, by the way. I mean, AD.
Oh yeah.
The man is AD, right? I mean, what more do you need to say? AD is in the house. So okay. Well, yeah. So I got some questions prepared for you. And the first thing I'd like to do is go ahead and could you talk a little bit about the event, like when it is, where it is, what it's all about?
All right, so yeah, awesome, man. So we're going to do the first live event here in the United States. It's going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, here near me. I said I want to do it in the hometown where I'm familiar with everything. But what it's going to be an amazing event because we're going to have a little bit of everything. We're going to have some networking for the people that come, at the beginning. Then we're going to have a presentation, and then we're actually going to have a live agent accelerator session where we're going to help some agents get off to a fast start and everything. So it's going to be amazing. We're going to have everything top notch. We already got the links out so that people can go ahead and get registered and secure their spot. We're even going to feed people that day, so it's going to be good.
So you guys are going to have some food there?
We're going to have some food as well. Absolutely.
Hey, somebody said if you feed them, they will come.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So where is it actually going to be location wise?
All right, it's at the Marriott in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'll have all, once they do the ticket, it has the address and everything there for them. Yep.
Okay, okay. So we'll definitely be having a link for that I will share once we post this up on YouTube. Also, guys,
Absolutely.
if you want a link for it right now, just drop us a message in the chat and we'll get that over to you. So yeah, I mean that's cool, man. And I love the idea of having an agent accelerator right there. And I think it's a great way to do it, right? When you've got multiple people in the room, you can kind of put things together in such a way as to, maximize everybody's potential. So it's pretty awesome. I'm definitely excited that you're doing it. And so let's go ahead and get into a little bit of the interview. Okay, and one of the things I wanted you to do here, because I'm interested in, I think the people will be interested. Could you tell us a little bit about who you are, your background, your story, how you got to this point?
Absolutely. And I talk about this usually during my presentation time. I know as you do in yours, I've jumped on a couple of your presentations, but I think it's good that people know a little bit about the people that are presenting information to them, right? And I got involved in this space back in, I always use 2001. I dabbled a little bit before that, but back in 2001, I'm showing my age right now, right? But in 2001, I got introduced to the network marketing space. I always tell people I really didn't know what it was. I was invited out to a meeting, and they said they had a business concept that I needed to check out, that it was going to be phenomenal. I can earn some residual income, some passive income and stuff from this business model. And so I went out and looked at it. And let me tell you that what was impressive for me was not just the fact that they had a good business concept. It was the lifestyle of the person who actually presented the information. And when I saw that that gentleman, and he was talking about what his day was like. And he was like, "Hey, I got up in the morning and I heard the little feet of my daughter. They were tapping up to my bed, and she woke me up. And it was like 10 o'clock. And then he was just talking about what they did that day. And he was just totally in control of his lifestyle. He was living the real passive income lifestyle. And he had that freedom that all of us are looking forward to and always are pursuing. And so I said, man, you know what? I want to live that lifestyle. But prior to that, I didn't really see a lot of people living that type of lifestyle. My story is I grew up here in North Carolina. My first child was born at 19 years old. So I was had the choice of like, hey, do I go to college or do I go at that time it was to the Air Force. But I was like when I knew that my child was being born, I said I gotta buckle down and make it happen, right? And I gotta get started in the career world. But I knew also, I was like, man, this is average everyday work a day world did not work for me. I knew that from the very beginning. And that's the reason why my mind was open when someone invited me out to a meeting to see a different concept. Because I said it has to be a better way. And then so after that, I really jumped into it and I started looking at different opportunities. I got in the network marketing space. I was just talking to somebody today. I said, man, I really take on the Thomas Edison mindset. It was like when people look at even what I do in the crypto space or what I've been involved in the network marketing space, I don't even look at it now in my perspective as failures. I look at it as I've successfully found 10,000 ways that do not work, right? And that's my thing is like I have found a lot of ways that do not work. And so but through that process I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I've matured a lot. There's a lot of things that have happened and that's been phenomenal. But you know what? Where there was a milestone in my life was when in 2017, I had worked my way up through the banking world and I was an executive at a large bank and had a really good job. I was a pillar of my community, all of that type of stuff. But there was a gentleman that came in and doing my due diligence an executive, I was like, hey, where does this deposit? He had a large deposit come into his account. And where does this come from? And in that time, and I looked at it, I was like, I'm not familiar with the source. And he said, well, I sold some Bitcoin, right? And at that time, I was like, I'd heard of Bitcoin, but I really didn't understand. I don't think many people really had a great understanding of what cryptocurrency was at that time. And so I was like, hey, I need to find out what this is because I saw the size of the deposit that he had. And I said, you know what, this has got to be something. And when I started to dive into it, I said, this is the future of money. Now, from the banking end as an executive, I knew the meetings that we were having on a consistent basis was like, hey, look, the banking world was a world in transition, like especially in the brick and mortar retail atmosphere. There were less and less people every year. We could look at the stats and the numbers and see there was less and less people coming into the bank. So I knew that that was a transition right now. Vaughn, I can ask you probably now, when is the last time you physically went into the bank?
Oh man, I couldn't tell you. I mean, we do just about everything digitally, and then with
Uh,
crypto, even more so.
Absolutely. And so that's was a big thing for me. And whenever I talk to people, it's the same thing. And they're like, man, I don't know the last time I went into a bank. I said, this thing is changing. And then so I said, well, let me see where money is going. And when I was in crypto and doing all my research, I said crypto is the way it's going. It's inevitable that money is going to go more digital, right? And then it needs to go into a way that's more secure, more anonymous, and gives more control back to the people, right? And so I was like, you know what, this is where it's at. And so I started to really dive into it. Well, where I really had my breakthrough was when I saw that crypto could be combined with this thing called passive income, right? And then I was like, okay, passive income, cryptocurrency, okay, this works. But then when you take on the affiliate marketing side of it as well, and when you can have all of that combined, that's a perfect storm of success. Now, anytime that you have a perfect storm of success, you can't forget that there will be some storms, right? A lot of people see perfect storm of success and it's like, oh, it's just going to be wonderful. No, you're going to have some lightning strikes, some thunders, and you're going to have some things happen. And we've had those things and we've had the shakeups. We had all of that stuff. But I believe that like finding all the things that don't work will lead you to the things that do work. And I think most of the time that it only takes one good success, a couple good successes that really change everything. And so that's what I'm always on the pursuit of, and what I'm always looking for. And and just fast forwarding to now when I started hearing the concept of e-estate. So I want to talk to people about that a little bit. My concept, getting the concept of e-estate first when they reached out to me before there was a website, and I probably the same for you, Vaughn, but before they had a website, before we had all this pretty stuff that we have now, and the graphics and everything is you can see everything for what it is now. When I saw the idea for e-estate, now what I have to let everybody know is that I had seen this like once or twice before, right? I saw before where there was I was been involved at the very beginning with a company that was trying to make this happen. I knew the concept was solid, but the execution has to be solid as well. And the problem was that at the end of the day, they weren't able to execute on everything. And I know there were good people, but they just weren't able to pull it off. But I knew that the concept was solid. And so when I saw this, I said, man, you know what? It seems like they really have this together. They're not playing. They got they're really they were hitting their milestones, and we said, well, hey, we're gonna have the agent contract for you. We're gonna have the buyer contract for you. We have all of this, and they kept giving the different things that they had, and I was like, man, this is going to be incredible. And so I'm glad I locked arms with them really early and was ready to go when before the platform launched and everything. And so that was the thing for me. I said, man, we're combining real world assets with cryptocurrency, and you have the ability to put an affiliate or instead of it just being a traditional affiliate market, the opportunity for somebody to become a digital real estate agent. Like this is amazing. Right. And so I said this right here could really be something that works for the long run and that can really set people up for success and even some redemption for people who have had a losing experience in this space because there are a lot of people that right now they've been involved with the space for a little while and they have an experience where they haven't really started winning in this space yet. And so I think this could really set people up for that.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people, some people walk away from network marketing right before they're about to hit. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And that's the saddest thing. I think for me and you, we both understand that hey, once you get a taste of what it can be, what it can really do, hey,
Yep.
you're okay with not always having them hit 100% because when it does, when you do get involved with a company that's successful, it's like nothing that you can do working a 9 to 5 job. It's just forget about it. So what makes you think e-estate is different? You mentioned it a little bit, but I know you've been in a lot of different platforms, you've been in a lot of companies and opportunities. What would you say makes e-estate different from other platforms that you've been involved in?
Well, I think from early on, from the conversations that I was having with eState and the things that they brought about. So, first of all, I know that they took their time with like the website, right? It wasn't something that was rushed, and for a long time we just had eState.co with the little landing thing on it, right? And so I knew they were taking time with the website. So that was one thing. Time is, a lot of times people rush and throw things together, and then I know I was like, hey man, I'm questionable on this. But when they took their time to make sure that they released this is one thing. The other thing is that it's backed by real world assets. And you can go out there and look at these are real properties, right? And so that's a great thing there. It's like, hey, look, these are real properties. Second thing is blockchain, right? Being that we look at the EST, it is based on the Binance Smart Chain, and that when we actually go in and tokenize a property, or like I like to call it. But when we actually go in and participate and get our share, we actually get those tokens. We can see those tokens right on the blockchain, right? It's on the Binance scan. I've been involved in other platforms where, yeah, you saw the tokens. It was just in your back office. Right, it was in that back office. It's sitting there, and I was like, "Hey, look, that's dashboard money." Right? We like this is what we call dashboard money. It's not real. You got it like this is not real. But when you can see tokens on the blockchain. When I can look in the back office and see that I have, let's say, 312 tokens, then I can look over on Binance Smart Chain and there's 312 tokens set aside for my stake. And then and then I also have a contract for that. Then I said, man, this is really powerful here that we could do this. And like I said, it's not set up like we've all seen all the other stuff, right? We've seen the trading, right? We've seen the mining. We've seen a lot of stuff over here. It looks like somebody's off mute. But yeah, we've seen a lot of stuff. But what's beautiful about this is that there's not much like this in our space. Now, with that being said, there's other platforms that are out there that are doing fractional ownership of real estate and tokenization. But here's one of the things that I am so proud of. I don't see another one that's doing it like eState. And I believe e-estate has the right model for success, and that's what gets me excited.
Yeah, I think a couple of big takeaways from that I got is that you can actually track what's happening on the smart chain, so you can kind of verify what's
Mhm.
going on. It's not just showing numbers on a website. And then also, and I remember when I hunted down one of the properties, you can look it
Mhm.
up. You can
Yep.
actually find the properties by going online and kind of going back and double checking. And I think that for some people, you almost do a double take when you do that because it's like, man, I haven't seen as much transparency in a lot of crypto platforms, right? Which, hey, that's fine, man. I believe in freedom, right? I believe if
Mhm.
somebody wants to take a risk in a crypto platform, they ought to have the freedom to do that, right? I mean, it's our money.
Absolutely.
We ought to be able to do with what we want to do with it. And but yeah, as far as the thoroughness, the fact that you can go and verify some of these things, I don't think I've seen that before, right? And not even in fractional real estate. Right. A
Mhm.
lot of times it's just even with that, you have to just stay on the website. But with
Mhm.
this, it's definitely different. So here's a question I have for you because you're really a leader in the space and you're creating a lot of agents. So what I would ask you is, let's say somebody wants to sign up for it, but they don't have a big network of friends and family. Okay. Basically, they don't have a way, right now, this second, to share the opportunity with others. Do you think that they should go ahead and sign up as an agent anyway, or do you think that they should wait?
I think they should sign up as an agent. And the reason why I will say this, signing up, and it's not, and of course, we know it's optional for someone to sign up as an agent. You can sign up whenever you get ready and that type of thing. But I think you should sign up for an agent if you have the dream or the ambition to want to do this. If you say in your mind, like, look, I don't have a big network, but I really want to do this, right? That is the first thing, right? And if you have that, and if you have that drive and that desire to do this, then I say yes, sign up as an agent and let's make this thing happen. Now, there's certain things that I always talk about here is when if you're going to do this, and if you this is goes for anything, there's some basics that you have to look at, and one being who you're going to listen to, right? See, if you sign up as an agent and you're going to go back and listen to everybody in the world outside of that, then it's probably not a good idea for you. But if you come in and you listen to people who are actually doing this and having success, attending the agent accelerator sessions and all of the things that we have available, attending Zoom meetings, more people should be on this Zoom meeting right now just because the repetition of hearing the information, right? Every Zoom that you have, every Zoom that I have, is going to allow you to learn a lot more and become even more comfortable with the information. So that's one of the things there. But there's also the basics of what your teachability is. We always talk about the teachability index, right? So it's like, how willing are you to learn? Right? It doesn't matter where you are right now. It's all about how willing are you to learn. So you want to rate your willingness to learn. The next thing that you want to rate is your willingness to change, right? If your life has, or if your results right now aren't what you want, what is your willingness to change so you can get the results that you want? Hey, people come to me and they tell me like, look, hey, I don't do social media. That's fine, but are you totally against it, or you just don't understand it? I don't post on Facebook. I don't do YouTube videos. Well, what are you going to do, right? Because there is a process of you, if you are going to be in business, to attract more customers and expose your opportunity to people, make them aware of what is available to them. So that you got to have the will, first of all, that willingness to learn, and most importantly, the willingness to change, right? And so once you're able to do that, that's going to change some things for you, right? But then and then after that, you can start working on things such as learning the skill. And that's why people, like I said, once again, being on those agent accelerator sessions, diving into the material. I talk to people all the time, like, hey, look, what is this? What is that? And you don't understand any of the material because you haven't read over it. How bad do you really want this, right? Do you really want to go out and be a professional, or are you just trying to be an amateur, right? That's just feeling their way around and doing that. But it's like, no, if you're really serious about this and you want this to be life changing for you, treat it like a life changing opportunity. Put some commitment into it, right? And it's consistency and commitment will get you a lot further than talent will. You know, there's people who are less talented than you that are having success with this because they're more consistent and more committed to the process. So that's a little bit. I know there's a long answer, but yeah, I believe people should definitely go ahead if they have the desire to reach some level of success with this company.
And then also your live event is basically one of the parts of it is the agent accelerator, right? So it's
Absolutely.
explaining to people how to take those steps, right? If they are serious about it. You remind me of a friend that I have in network marketing who got to me years ago, and I really wanted to be successful. This was before I had really had success in network marketing. And he said, "Okay, Vaughn, if you really want to be successful, I'm gonna show you how to do it, but you gotta go along with me even if you don't understand it." And he said, "Look, dude, you're gonna have to get on social media." Because I was like totally against it. You know what I mean? I was like, you know, Facebook, I don't want to do it, you know. He's like, "Hey, listen, this is what it is." He said, "Just give me some time, and if it doesn't work, then fine." And what he worked on me with was getting involved in social media and also mindset training, right? Because I'm the most skeptical, you know what I mean? I'm the most like I can be cynical even. And he was like, "Vaughn, just try it. Just try
Mhm.
it. Just
Mhm.
believe." Right? And I started, and so I did it. I said, "Hey, what do I have to lose here?" And you know what? It worked.
Oh
And
yeah.
and so I would really suggest for anybody who's inclined to definitely get on the agent accelerator training and just learn, right? Take the time to learn. So we talked about the agent. What would you say are your very favorite things about this particular opportunity e-estate? Like if you had to pick a couple of your faves, what would they be?
Well, I think the first thing, of course, is the passive income. It's real passive income, right? And it's backed by I can literally say, hey, look, I have fractional ownership in a property in Los Angeles, right? I have fractional ownership in a property that is in Seattle, Washington. I have fractional ownership. It's real. I have contracts. I have all of this stuff that I have this, and I am getting paid daily passive income Monday through Friday. It is a real thing. Now, the thing is, as I talk about in my presentation, usually most majority of wealthy people in the world who obtain any significant amount of wealth, they have real estate in their portfolio. So I always say, don't if you think to yourself, shouldn't you have some type of real estate in your portfolio? And then you can say, now it's no reason for anyone to not have it when you can when it starts as little as $10, right? For you to get your feet in the door. So that's one thing, the passive income through the real estate, right? But I think the other thing is the fact of you becoming a digital real estate agent, right? I think this is the new era of real estate. And once people really see how this works, because if the tokenization of real world assets, especially real estate, is going to become this multi-trillion-dollar industry over the next few years, right? Think about what you have to think about is what does that mean? You're going to see a shift from agents who are only doing physical properties to agents who will be also doing tokenization. Tokenization is going to have to be a part of what they do because it's going to become so prominent. That house that they wanted to sell, when it's tokenized and they don't even understand what tokenization is, they're going to have to understand that. Like it was a house that was on the market. Now when it comes when they'll see the impact when 30% of the houses on the market are tokenized.
Mhm.
Right. And see, people aren't thinking about that stuff as things move forward. Like 30% of the houses on the market, I gotta learn this tokenization stuff so I can play in that space as well. Now, the thing is, with the good thing for us pushing e-estate in the way it's done, because e-estate is giving us a phenomenal way to participate in this new wave of wealth. Most of those other companies, I don't want to call any names on our Zoom, but these other tokenization companies, they're not paying you, they'll pay you $25 to $50. That's it. That's your participation that they would give you for a referral.
Mhm.
25 to $50.
No.
And that's it. So you're not they're going to get there's going to be companies going to make a lot of money off of this and they're going to put themselves in a position to make a lot of money. But are you going to roll with the company that's also going to put you in a position to make a lot of money as this new wave of wealth is being created? This is tremendous market shift. And if we're only talking about until 2030, but by the time we hit as it accelerates and we hit 2035 and you may be looking at 50% of the real estate market is tokenized. That's crazy. Like, how many people are going to be put in position to really win with this by being in position right now? So, that's the thing. I love the fact that I get to talk to people about that and tell them, like, look, buckle in. It may not be, you may not see it overnight, but over time, and I'm not talking about a long time, but over a little bit of time, you're going to see it. Get your foundation. You, man, imagine if I think right now I have maybe 130, 140 something people in my organization. But I'm looking at in a couple weeks to have 500 and then 1,000. And you have that base of agents and tokenization, right? And with e-estate. And then as this thing moves forward, now you're able to make monumental leaps or what we call quantum leaps that it just goes crazy. So once again, I know it's a long answer, but yeah, that's my favorite stuff right there.
That's a totally awesome answer, man. So thank you very much for that. Yeah, I think we've got a wave coming here, and we've got an opportunity to catch it and to catch it early. And I say why not? And like you said, man, I mean, you can get in for $10. If you just want
Exactly.
to kick the tires, test it out, see how it goes, you can get in for 10 or you can get in for a lot more than that. I mean, the opportunities are all there with the platform. So I just really want to thank you for coming on, right, and sharing some of your expertise here on the webinar. And can we go over one more time your event? And then do you think you'd be able to post a link in the chat? Would you be able to do that?
Absolutely, I should be able to do that. Let me get that pulled up here. But yeah, absolutely, man. What I am excited about here with this event is that people are going to be able to see that I think it's going to add another level of reality to them, right? There's people even in my local area. I already got people saying, "Hey, I'm flying in to be a part of this because I want to see it. I want to be around the other go-getters and the other people that are making it happen." And that's what I'm excited about, seeing all the people in the room to make this happen. But my thing is that you're going to get this information. We're going to make it as phenomenal as possible. Like that, the networking is going to be good. You're meeting other people that you can work with in this space, right? Like these are other go-getters, other people who are excited about the same thing. The other thing is, the presentation there. If you have somebody you want to come in as a guest and they'll be with you, they'll see the information live, right? We're going to have a session for people to be able to go ahead and enroll if they're ready, and they're enrolling on the spot. And the thing is, you got to get in the room. That's one of the things I talk to people about. It's nothing like being in the room. And Vaughn, you probably remember in the network marketing space, we used to have these meetings, right? And I know I used to facilitate and I used to attend weekly meetings, right? And so we would go in the week. It was nothing like the electricity in that room and how magnetic it was when people would go in and people would get excited and people would leave just bubbling from those meetings. And that's one of the things that I want to have in here because you're gonna hear testimonies. We got people that are coming that's been involved with e-estate and saying, hey, look, here's their testimony, here's their background, here's what's happening with them. We have other leaders right now that are coming in they're gonna share their part of it. That's gonna be powerful. And then also the agent accelerator live and in person so we can help you we're going to walk you through getting like your landing pages set up, getting you all the things you need so you can start posting on social media. We're going to help you get a 30-day calendar so you can know exactly what you need to be posting on social media. That's going to help you get there, right? And those things are going to be presented live there for you. So if you have questions, you can get them answered. And you'll be able to also see people who already had success, right? That already applied those things. And so that's why it's going to be powerful. I encourage everyone, right, to actually be there if you can. It's $10, right, to get into the event. That's it. I'm pulling up the I'm actually going to pull up the link right now, but it's $10 to get into the event, which I wanted to make. And the only reason why I'm doing the $10, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm being transparent here. The only reason why I'm doing the $10 because I am providing food, right? And I want to make sure if you say you're coming that you're going to come. Because if I reserve, right now we got it for like 60 people. If I need more, I'm gonna get them to expand it so we can have more. But I don't want to do more without people really committed to coming and saying, "Hey, look, I'm going to be there," right? And so if you want to be there, definitely I'm going to drop this link right in the chat there. It should be right there.
Yep.
So you can go in $10 for you to get secure your spot, and you're gonna come and we're gonna have an incredible time. Like I said, all the information will be there once you get your ticket and everything. So you can, if you want to get a hotel room, I'm actually gonna be talking to them tomorrow about trying to get us a group rate for those who want to come in and stay at the hotel. So that'll be another thing as well. But we're trying to make this as powerful as possible. This is going to be the gateway to the next ones as well. So guys, what my plan is to do this one and then get with other leaders once we know the model because I'll have all the materials and everything like that as well. That we can go to another city like Miami. I know people have been asking me like, you got to come to Miami, right? It's a crypto thing. You got to do Miami. And so Miami could be another one. I've already been looking at different places where we can have it, but we're going to continue to keep this thing going and show people that this is the real deal, and this is already one of the hottest things in 2025, and that you want to get on and enjoy this ride. So thank you for allowing me to share some more information about that. I hope everybody that sees this, they're ready to go ahead and get their ticket.
So what's the date of it?
It is September 20th. So September 20th, it's going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., right? 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., September 20th. We're going to have a great time. It's in Raleigh. It's going to be at the Marriott Crabtree here in Raleigh. Like I said, address and everything is on the ticket, so you can get that as well.
Well, hey man, thank you so much for coming through. You know, it's contagious, right? How excited you are and also the energy that you bring to the table, the can-do attitude. And I don't think people realize the type of coaching that they're going to get when they come to this thing for only $10. Guys, in this space, coaching can cost a lot more than $10, trust me, right? And so, you know, what I would say is if you're able to go, hey, go. And you know what? Think about bringing two people with you, right? Who haven't joined eState or who've never been network marketers before. Bring a couple of new people, right? And because you never know where you're going to find that next person who's going to come on, sign up under you, and possibly become a big leader in the space, right? And so once again, Anthony, thank you so much for coming through. I do appreciate you. All right. And guys, go ahead and grab that link in the description. I'm also going to be putting a link in the description here on YouTube when we post it on the YouTube channel. I hope that you all have a great night. Thank you for coming through the webinar. Take care.
Thank you, Vaughn. You have a great night.
You too.